In the fourth part of this chapter, I want to talk about global sports sponsorship considerations. So things that are specific to global sports. It's important to evaluate a few potential concerns before you enter into a new global sponsorship or enter a new market with your sponsorship deals. And we're going to talk about each one of these over the next couple slides. The first one is ambush marketing. We've mentioned this before. It occurs when another company, often a competitor, intrudes upon public attention surrounding an event and thereby reflecting attention toward themselves and away from the sponsor. So I have two examples here of ambush marketing. One on the left is Lufthansa. They're a airline, which I mentioned before. The airline did during the World Cup, I believe this was in South Africa, I could be wrong on that, but essentially they put on the cone of their airplanes a soccer ball. They strategically did that in the markets in which there were likely people traveling to the World Cup or traveling anywhere that were interested in the World Cup. Where on that picture does it say World Cup? Nowhere, right? Lufthansa was not an official partner of the World Cup, but they put a soccer ball on the front of their plane. Was that illegal? No, there was nowhere on there did it say World Cup. Nowhere on there did it say they were official partner or try to be seen as such. But their goal was to be associated with the World Cup. And so when people saw the soccer ball on the front of the plane, they said, oh, well, I guess that's the official partner, right? So they make assumptions. So again, this is another company, which is a competitor, intruding upon the public attention surrounding the event of the World Cup, and thereby deflecting attention toward themselves and away from the actual paid sponsor. There's another good ad that I saw this at online. It says the official sponsor of the largest athletics event in London this year. There you go. We said it. London, France, that is. The point is they were joking in that they were essentially ambush marketing on purpose, being seen as the official partner. That was some cell phone company. But the whole point is that is an example of ambush marketing, something to consider. Other potential concerns come with naming rights. And so essentially the national culture oftentimes and can oppose naming rights. For example, Brazil and Spain and most of Europe don't have naming rights for facilities. In the United States, is very common. But providing the opportunity for a cost-effective strategy to become basically involved in a long-term partnership with a sport property. When you think of the Staples Center, you don't really think of it, but it's named after a sponsor. The AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Minute Maid Park, NRG Stadium in Houston. These are all places that have naming rights after a company. In other countries, it's named after the city or memorialized after a person. It's rarely attached to a company. Through televised events, naming rights sponsors can also reach millions. So just think AT&T Center, or Stadium, in Dallas, host events and broadcast all over the world. But they host all kinds of events, both sport and entertainment alike, and they're reaching millions of consumers through their naming rights. However, again, the purity of the games is often questioned in some cultures. Okay? Another thing to look at is jersey sponsorship, oftentimes termed across the globe as kit sponsorships. Kit meaning a soccer kit is a jersey. A jersey sponsorship in sports where there's limited opportunities for commercial breaks, such as soccer, will do these as a way to increase revenue for the organization. Culture also may be an issue with this. So does the national culture oppose naming rights of players or naming rights on jerseys? So I have a couple of pictures here. You've got the WNBA, which currently has logos on it of companies, kit sponsorships or jersey sponsorships. The NBA has already announced that they're starting to move this direction. The NFL already has sponsorships on their preseason jerseys and has questioned whether or not they want to put them on regular season. And a lot of people, when I ask this question to students, would you be okay with having a sponsor's ad across the front like you see on Kobe's jersey right here? And a lot of them go, no, I don't want to see that. And then I ask the question, how many of you will be willing to still watch the game if there's a logo on the shirt? And most of them say, yeah, I'll still watch it regardless. I just don't like it. That's the acceptance of commercialization in sport. And in our culture in the United States, it's not a big deal. In cultures in Europe, it's not a big deal. But some cultures, it may be.